This guy's trying to live to be a couple hundred years old, but he works at NASA. And he had these kind of.
Hey, these are NASA cameras?
Yeah.
Pretty cool. And so after you, but what was the, so when you arrive on set, you got these NASA cameras, you've got this idea of this hitman story. How did you go about, did you have something written out, or was it really about discovering it on set with the actors?
Oh yeah, Toronto. Oh yeah.
Hey, you guys don't care.
Imagine something like this, you show up on set and you've got the cameras and
just make it up.
But you speak to, there's like a bunch of lore, I feel like, in this film. So maybe could you speak to some of the sort of the writing of the lore and coming in, how those conversations sort of emerged? Fine answer,
I had the concept in the story. There was not a conventional script. It was spent like a year or two working on developing the visual language and the language itself, and then we would kind of it was kind of like a freestyle. I always like when rappers would freestyle, so I want to get to the point where I could just freestyle a movie. And so it was based on an idea I kind of knew, but to be honest with you, everyone on this, and really none of us really thought we were making a movie. We were trying to make something else that was closer to just like an experience. And
and the dialogue, I've watched the film a few times now, and there's like a mantra-like quality to the dialogue, the repetition of certain phrases, a poetry. Was that a process of, were you writing these lines and then feeding them to the actors, or was this a process of like working with Jordy and Travis?
It was just kind of, I knew, I liked, certain things in gaming or dialogue in GTA and stuff. It was just like, I had this kind of idea of just platitudes and repetition and kind of like looping dialogue that would, almost like trance. It's like if you listen to trance music or electronic music, how can you do that with, in 2D? How can you do that narratively? So it was just an attempt to.
And speaking of music, can you talk about your collaboration with Air Music and the score, which is like
I wish he could be here. I mean, actually, the way he scored is amazing because I don't think he ever saw the movie. I still think he's seen it. He was just texting me the music. So I think I got while we were shooting it, 100 texts of the music.
Dropping it in.
I explained to him what it was about. He was like, cool. I asked him if he wanted to see it. He was like, no, I'm good.
What was your explanation like in terms of it? Were you asking for specific style of music, or was it just?
I'd always been a fan of his, and I liked the soundscapes. And I mean, he's more famous for his beats, but I kind of liked the soundscapes. It was super dramatic and just and so he would send us loops that he would make and things that we would slow them down or speed them up or kind of make them fit the picture. But most of it was just text to me. He didn't watch, he wasn't scoring a picture.
Yeah. And then it was just a matter of you feeling, listening to the music and going, no, that would work here.
Yeah.
Very organic process.
I still don't think he's seen it.
Pardon? Sorry.
I still don't think he's actually seen it.
I guess another question I have is just after you shot it with infrared, you're also adding animation layers to the characters, and what sort of informed those textures, or how did you arrive at sort of the textural quality and the patterns that sort of appear on?
It was just something we experimented with for a while. I mean, I had started this crew. I have been working with this crew. It was closer to a kind of design collective, except everything's based in kind of tech and VFX and gaming and stuff. And so we had spent a while trying to develop a visual language that I thought was compelling and something I hadn't seen before. So it's layered. It's there's a lot of different stuff. There's VFX. There's AI in there. There's obviously thermal and then we're using engines. And it's a kind of. There's a kind of experiment.
And you know, having done this experiment, like, how do you feel? You said you weren't trying to make a movie, but you know, we're at now a film festival,
Yeah.
the second film festival the
Yeah.
film's been at. What do you think that means, sort of in terms of the result and how audiences received it? What's your?
It's great, you know. Honestly, it is what it is. It's a thing. There's not like one way to take the film at all. It's more just any reactions. It's good. I just set out to try to entertain myself and hopefully make some things entertaining for Toronto.
So, can you talk about the casting of the film, like with the actors?
There's barely any actors. I mean, Jordy Mola was living 3 doors down from me. He was. I never even met. I hadn't met him. Someone got my WhatsApp number, and he was. I live on the water. You have these like lizards poop on the back patio. He would like just send clips of these
It was
lizards.
just a matter of just being like, do you want to be the world's greatest assassin tomorrow?
I just liked the way he moved. I liked him in Blow, and I love the way he moved and talked. He was like. And from Spain, and
Could you describe, like, were you directing the actors? Because they do have like a certain kind of movement that.
we were watching a lot of games. We were just watching games and playing games, and I was just kind of like, there was some just like physical. I don't know. It's just I was showing him a game.
I love that moment when he's just tapping. He's sort of tapping on the banister.
Oh, you like that, do you?
Yeah. I do. I mean, I was tapping, with him. Tap this way.
That's suspicious.
But was that just sort of like free form? You're out there, like, just start doing that. And you just.
I mean, I think Jordy, he has like 4 or 5 albums of like drum records, but I don't think he ever even learned to play the drum. but he's got like these drum records that he puts out. I think he just hits shit.
And the giant CGI demon that sort of stalks the world and kind of synchronizes with Bo, the assassin's life. Was that something again through experimentation, or what was sort of motivating that idea?
We were just in the lab, like with the crew. They were like coming up with different things. They're developing different things, and we're trying. A lot of that stuff wasn't even. I hadn't really imagined it, and we were just kind of going in there, seeing what worked. And the post took a long time, just because it was a lot of that experimenting. And I think that was just one. The devil, the demons, were like some of the stuff that developed out of the creative process in post.
Cool. We probably don't have that much time for questions, but
A couple of questions.